Okay, to begin with, let me clarify a few points here that I really want to bring across. I know this is not going to be agreed upon by everyone, and that's fine by me. I want you to know that I do love New Zealand. I love the nature and the beauty that I see there, the mountains, the rivers. I've done a lot of gardening in the, gardens in the city, in the towns, in my own parents' place, as well as public parks and parks that are yet to be made public. Beautiful places, but you also get to see a lot of the effects that colonialism has had on New Zealand, which is a mixed bag. It's brought some good things, it's also taken away a lot of good things. But that is New Zealand nature. What I cannot stand any longer, and I really think it's time someone spoke up about this, is New Zealand. What the F? I am only not finishing that word because I don't want YouTube to take it down, but it probably will just because of the type of message that I'm about to bring. But what the F are you doing to our men, our young men, our boys, my brothers? I'm not talking about any particular group really. I'm talking about men in general. For quite a while I've noticed there was just this gut feeling when I was younger. And so, who would listen to a young boy? Who would listen to someone that, whatever, goes through life, to a young teenager? Because he is a boy. What does he know, right? Right? But I look at things that are happening in all of New Zealand. I look at the church. I look at even Maori culture now. I look at the media, the movies, the politics, the things that are being taught in public schools. Boys High, not as much, thankfully. Thank God for Boys High. But let me put it this way. A misconception that I see about masculinity that a lot of New Zealanders believe is you got to be big, buff, and quiet. Do the mahi, eat the shit, go home. That is an aspect of being man, but it's certainly not the whole full picture of masculinity. I'm sure you know about the term gentleman. Well, it has gentle and man. They're not the same. Men are not gentle. But what a lot of people seem to be accepting, and what is being pushed out there, in church just as much as any other place, is people want the gentle, they don't want the men. So you don't have gentlemen, you don't have proper men, you have gentle. Saying things like in this kind of voice where it sounds pretty cool. Yeah, that should be alright, bro. Yeah, nice and cool and sweet. What the fuck is that kind of voice? It's in the music. I hear so many songs out there where, when was the last time you actually heard a good voice like this? It's all like this. It's all high squeaky voice. It's all high volume sort of thing. To find a balance, to come to the level of the voices of most women. And look at the advertisements. I beg you, please have a good eye to what is happening with advertisements, which is at the same time what goes into your mind. So gradually you get a picture of something and you don't even realize it before you get it. Have a look at the advertisements carefully. How often do you see a man being the chubby guy who sits on the couch, who doesn't really, he's like, should be alright kind of attitude, and lets the woman take charge and everything? How often do you see the woman suddenly leading the men? That's not me being negative towards women being responsible. By all means, everyone should be responsible. But this picture draws a depiction of men need constant guidance, constant surveillance, constant, hey, get up and do something attitude. That's not building our young men up. It's not helping anyone. What it's doing, let me tell you how, for one thing, how it's making me feel as a man. Alright? It's making me feel like I can't do anything without someone else telling me. I'm so much of a muttonhead that, oh yeah, the woman there needs to tell me how I have to do something. Like it's not something that I can learn myself. I ask you this, when was in movies, New Zealand movies, but any movies in general, and in the media, and in church, when was the last time, anywhere, where there was a picture of a strong, masculine guy, heck, make it a Maori warrior for all I care. I've met some of them, they radiate the best version of masculinity that I've seen in a long time. They're not the nicest, they're not the gentlest, they could be a bit rough on the edges, but dang if they don't make me feel like, wow, I want to be around this guy, because he can teach me how to fight, he can teach me how to embrace that toa, that warrior inside of me, right? All these advertisements and all these movies and everywhere really, it's all about women are strong and they can do, you know, they can do what they want. They can tell the man off even if it's out of place. They can go to the gym and make videos of themselves training, or they can put a man to shame just because he's looking at her. But the moment a guy records himself making videos about when he's exercising and he's actually doing a good job at it, people just ignore it. They're like, yeah, that's just him being him. Yeah, that's just that guy being him. The moment a guy says no, did he just say no? Oh my goodness. Get what I'm saying? It's all, everyone wants to be around the nice guy until the not nice guys show up. Because I tell you what some not nice guys are going to do to the nice guy. They're going to F them up. They're going to chew them up and spit them out. Look for the love of Pete. Look at the first security in places like the Plaza in Palmy and other places like that. For example, why did the stabbing in Auckland happen? Yeah, I'm going to bring that up. I don't give a hoot anymore. Why is that being brought up? Why am I bringing that up? Well, because if there were true, strong men walking about, ready to defend themselves and their loved ones, that attack would not have happened. I don't care how much police is out there. I don't care how many first security people you have. If those first security people, they are literally those that are like a head smaller than me, a head and a half smaller than me, at my armpit level, half a shrink of my size. They're either the elderly, or they're chubby and overweight, or they're girls that I'm like, if I wanted to, I could push them over in a whim. They wouldn't have the chance to sound the alarm. By the way, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to make that very clear. But I am saying that that's exactly the case. To be frankly with you, even though I'm a fairly solid bloke myself, I do not feel at ease in town. Why? It only takes one good organization to decide to take things there. And the first security won't have a thing to do about it. They might sound the alarm for the real guys to show up, but so much can go wrong and so much can take place in 5 minutes' time. Why have first security be so weak and pathetic when you can have actually All Blacks-sized blokes, ex-military-sized kind of guys who, you know, the moment they walk into the room, you're not going to mess with them. What is wrong with that kind of first security? I'll tell you what, it's too masculine. It's not good. It's not equality. New Zealand, you're about to go into some really painful moments. I hate to say this, but I've done a lot of history reading and I've gone through a lot of stuff, and I know you don't give a hoot about this probably just because I'm a man, but I'm speaking the truth here. You might not like me. You might think I look weird. You might think I'm like, oh, he's just one of those blokes. Nobody's going to listen to him. Look, I don't care that you're not going to listen to me. But I'm going to tell you now. You're in for some painful moments, New Zealand. You're going to have moments, and you're going to look back and ask, why did First Security not do anything? Because they couldn't. You're going to ask, where are the real men gone? You chased them away. You bred them out. Where are the warriors? Too few. Do you think New Zealand has an army? It's nothing. 300 elite warriors could take out New Zealand. That's how pathetic you've become. The only thing that might still stand is the SAS. But how many SAS troops are there? I don't know. I'm not in the SAS. You tell me. But 500 military staff, that is Navy, Air Force, Army together. Sorry, not 500, 5,000. 5,000. But I've seen throughout history, by reading through it and everything else, and listening to the stories and actually paying attention, okay, that numbers mean nothing. Especially not with technology and tactics and the type of weapons, etc., that we have today. Especially with certain people in charge around the place. New Zealand, you're going to want men to come back in a very short time. But by that time, the pain will have been done. The damage has been done. And you're going to... and you know how pathetic it's going to be? You're probably going to blame it on men for not doing anything about it. Well, guess what? You've bred the decision-making out of them. You've bred the masculine action-taking, the warrior spirit, the protector, and the guardianhood right out of them. So don't be bloody surprised that it's going to bite you. I'm saying this angrily, but out of love. Love without anger is pathetic. Because if you love niceties and good things and you tolerate bad things, guess what? You don't truly love what is good. I grieve for you, New Zealand. I truly do. You might take what I have said here the wrong way, and that's fine by me. What's not fine by me is what is going on. And I feel like I cannot have any form of self-respect. And I do not feel it is truly loving if I stay quiet about it any longer. So do with this video what you want. You can have your opinions about it. I couldn't care less, because in a few years' time, we're all going to pass away. Your opinions won't matter. What I have said may or may not have changed things, but if I say nothing, nothing will change, and it will only go downhill even further. I truly wish that I could actually talk to someone who maybe you're a person who's actually listened through the whole video here and has actually felt like I'm speaking some truth here. And even if you disagree with me, please know that I would happily talk to you one-on-one if we had the chance. Because frankly, because I'm not interested in your opinions, because I don't care about your opinions, it sounds bloody blunt, I know that, but because I don't care about your opinions before I care about New Zealand and the well-being of New Zealand, that doesn't mean I won't listen. I won't hear you out. They say, you got to be twice as fast to listen and twice as slow to speak. I say 4 times, because you've got ears and eyes both to observe. Okay? But that said, that's not what this is about. This is about what you're doing, New Zealand. I don't know who's responsible, but I'm just saying that it's happening. New Zealand is beginning to treat its boys, the tane and the toa, like something that is out of place, like something that should be suppressed, that's like something that's just toxic, like something that shouldn't be there. I tell you what, have you heard of the society, tribe, country, whatever you want to call it, of weak men? Of course not. Why? Because they don't survive into history. And deep down, as a human being, you know this. It's a subconscious thing. It's a spiritual thing. It's something in the spirit, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you believe in. But that's what it is. And that's what's creating a lot of anxiety in people. Boys feel purposeless because they are not treated as if they have a purpose. And no coaching, not coaching, let me rephrase that. No therapy or psychology or anything like that is going to help, because those things too are bent around wanting to be nice and wanting to come across as lovingly and sweet and helpful, but not truthful. That's called beating around the bush. And as a gardener, I know from experience, if I beat around the bush, I'm not going to get the job done. So, take it as you will, New Zealand. Some of you will agree, some of you will disagree, and you're free to do that. But your opinions aren't going to be of any consequence in the next short while. Mark my words. It's gonna be painful, because you're neglecting your masculinity in New Zealand. And it's not just in New Zealand, by the way. It's throughout a lot of countries, in the European countries, in the Western countries. And you know what? I'm the worst, because I'm white. I'm a Northern European guy. I read my Bible, and I speak up against what I don't believe in. Or rather, let me rephrase that. I speak up against what I see is wrong. I don't beat around the bush. So not only, am I able to provide for myself, I'm a white guy, I'm a biblical white guy from Northern Europe. Oh boy, I'm the worst of the worst. Am I not? So yeah, this video is getting a little bit long right now. I think I've given my point across. Leave it as it is. Carry on with your life and just pay attention. Pay attention to the type of advertisements, to the type of portrayal that are in movies, the portrayal of men. And yeah, just look around. Start looking actively and start looking at what church is trying to do. It's not good. Church is not good. Society is not good. It's sick. And true men aren't there because you're breeding them out. So congratulations. You're going to get exactly what you're starting. See you whenever.